afternoon and happy Wednesday, everyone. It's Alyssa Corum here, and I am joined by Justin Nielsen. We're going to break down the action for the major indexes. It was another strong day for growth stocks. Justin, what do we have cooking?
Yeah, so we'll take a look, I guess relook at Chipotle Mexican Grill that you and Ed took a look at yesterday, kind of see how that was doing. We'll also take a look at Shopify, an old favorite, and also another old favorite, C Limited, to see if that has some more gas in the tank.
All right, first a look at the NASDAQ here, gaining about 0.5% for the day. A little bit off of session highs by the close, but still another up day here after we came down to that 21-day line. Just in the S&P up about 0.2%, the Dow down 0.2%, but continued outperformance here by growth and tech. What do you think?
Yeah, and definitely, we've been talking a little bit about how the small caps, the Russell 2000, and the best way we track that is with the IWM ETF that tracks the Russell 2000. So if you take a look at that, you can see that that's been really kind of a big driving force in the market lately. So that kind of took a little bit of a break today. Switching back over to the NASDAQ, that really did seem like tech was where the action was at. And again, there was still strength in a lot of different places. So while it may have been a little bit more of a mixed session than we had yesterday, in terms of the growth stocks and how well they did, there was still a lot of power here, and we're right back there at new highs for the NASDAQ. So those opportunities to kind of purchase stocks when you get a pullback to the 21-day moving average line, that was something that we were seeing a lot of in May and June during that really strong uptrend. And as we've kind of noted on IBD Live, we are in a power trend according to the market school rules that we use, and that makes the pullbacks to the 21-day good areas to kind of look for stocks and opportunities to be purchasing.
That's right. And you are correct, Justin. It wasn't just tech because Chipotle had a standout session. Ed and I talked about this yesterday. We added it to Swing Trader yesterday on a really nice session, up about 2.8%. Tacked on more gains today, closing up over 4%. Heavy volume as well coming into the stock. So what about this setup looked good to you rewinding a day or two ago?
Well, and I have to give kudos to our Chief Content Officer, Chris Gessel. He's the one that put this on my radar and said, hey, look, this is just a really nice setup day. So when you have a stock that is kind of trying to get to this area of resistance, and it gets right up there, it's closing at the highs, it just looks very strong, it just doesn't quite pass it, we kind of say, look, this is something that's set up to go, and it looks like all it needs is one more day and you could potentially get some power. Now, sometimes that day doesn't happen right away. Sometimes it will kind of pause right there and then it will really move. But we do like those setups. It's just one way of kind of anticipating what's going to happen. And this is also the benefit of doing your homework. This is one of the things that we're trying to do for you on this show, but we're doing that throughout investors.com and the newspaper and all of our products. We're trying to do a lot of this homework to help you with your homework as well, so that you have these on your radar. So when the move happens, potentially
it
early
shouldn't
in the
be
morning.
A surprise.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that you've already researched. It's something you're comfortable with. Now, most people know Chipotle Mexican Grill, but there's a lot of names that we're talking about where you might not have ever heard of it. So it gives you a chance to kind of do your research ahead of time, make those decisions while things are a little bit calmer and not moving as much, so that they're not as emotional. When it does cross that line, you know what you're going to do because you've already decided.
Exactly. And if you happen to miss it on Swing Trader, this show yesterday, IBD Live this morning. I mean, there were multiple opportunities. We were kind of hitting this one from all angles. And the same goes for, I would say, Shopify. We've been all over this one as well. A huge day for the stock, up almost 8%. Heavy volume here too. We've really been keeping tabs on this one as it's been consolidating, but really started to perk up when it retook that 50-day, which also coincided with a bit of a downward sloping trend line there. And it's been setting up in this handle, and sure enough, broke out today.
And I think Arusha might have been the IBD Live panelist that was talking about this at that time. So this has had multiple opportunities, and it's exactly as you said, Ali. A lot of times what you see is the stocks that kind of have the most going for them. They don't appear in just one place. We have multiple screens that we use on the website, multiple stock lists. And when you start seeing something appear in multiple lists, when you start seeing it appear on multiple products, this was added, to leaderboard today. When you start seeing it appear in all these different places, that's telling you something about the strength. And another point that you're making right now is, look, this had a lot of opportunities. You had the 1,112.51 buy point that you're pointing out right there. That's kind of your traditional. You had that downtrend. You had a downtrend if you wanted to do a longer downtrend. There's all sorts of justifications that you could use to get into this stock. And the question is, a lot of people say, well, is this truly able to make another move? A lot of these leaders can surprise you. It's given itself time. It's had about, it's been consolidating since what, August? So that's a lot of time for the consolidation. And some people were asking on IBD Live today, well, why is this listed as a consolidation? Isn't this a cup with handle if you kind of just look at the middle of that base? And it absolutely is. But this is where the pattern recognition is kind of not always perfect. It's a computer kind of doing this, but this is where sometimes the extra analysis that we're giving with our products kind of helps put some further insight into these things. But as you said, this is one that we were all over because we mentioned it in multiple places.
Exactly. And hey, for those watching this right now thinking, gosh, I missed this move today, what do you say to them? And what we might see for Shopify tomorrow, might it still be in range, or is it starting to feel a little extended to you?
Yeah, maybe it is, but you have to be very careful of buying stocks that are extended. The best advice that I have for people is, if you feel like you missed something, don't get so upset and don't get so like afraid that you're missing the party, that whole FOMO thing, fear of missing out, that you start making decisions that aren't sound.
Right.
The best thing to do is remember that in a strong bull market, the opportunity of a lifetime comes around multiple times in those markets. And we've seen that this year. There have been multiple, I think I counted in terms of the very liquid names, Chris and I did a presentation, and there are probably 140 names out there that had gains of 200% or more this year to date.
Wow.
So there were a lot of opportunities for some life-changing portfolio moves this year. So it usually is best, instead of trying to chase something that you missed, just wait for the next one. And again, we're going to be all over these names, as you said before, with whatever's coming up as a new leader.
That's right. And C Limited, ticker SE, also presenting a buying opportunity today with the stock pulling back to its 21-day line and rebounding off of that level. I mean, you take a look at this chart, Justin, it hasn't really paused to take much of a breath the whole year. So getting it as it's coming off of the 21-day line, it seems like a good opportunity.
Well, and this kind of, shows a little bit of a distinguishment between some of our products. So Shopify went on leaderboard, it's got this nice long consolidation. This is probably something that you could hold on to for a while. C Limited, look, this doesn't have a very long consolidation. This is just a pullback to the 21-day after having already done a phenomenal move with barely touches to the 50-day moving average line. So this is something that went on Swing Trader today. We're looking at a short-term move on this. Maybe it's something, if we get a lot of cushion, you could turn into a position trade. But at this point, if we can get a little bit out of this on this bounce off the 21-day, we'll be happy with that and move on to the next thing.
That's right. A great thing to distinguish there. And for more discussions of these trades in real time, make sure you're tuning into IBD Live every morning, our daily morning live stream, of course, where we're sharing our screens, talking about stocks as they break out, putting them on your radar early, talking about stocks that are setting up, portfolio management tips, and going into some educational lessons along the way as well to really put in your back pocket as you are on your trading journey. Today, we went really in depth on using the 10-week line as a sell signal. I think that was pretty fruitful for the audience. So come join us if you haven't tried it yet. Investors.com/IBD Live. And Justin, we love your contributions on the show as well.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, it's that polling question that you've been putting out there has been really well received, and the main point is, on a lot of these topics, these are things that come up over and over again, in market after market. So these are kind of some of those timeless principles that if you can learn them very well, these are tools that you have in your toolbox that you'll use over and over again, and hopefully with great success.
Yeah, that's right. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you join us tomorrow morning. We look forward to interacting with you over there, and we'll see you back on this show tomorrow. Thanks for watching.